Two claims keep circulating online that any small bump totals a Tesla and that BYD batteries are essentially bulletproof. Independent teardown and crash repair research points to roughly the opposite on both counts, and that's the real theme of BYD versus Tesla in 2026. Almost every popular talking point is missing half the picture. Start with the sales scoreboard, since that's what gets argued about most. In Q1 2026, Tesla edged ahead on pure EVs, roughly 358,000 units to BYD's 310,000. But zoom out to all of 2025 and BYD sold about 2.25 million pure EVs against Tesla's 1.6 million, a gap of more than 500,000 cars, and BYD's first ever full-year win. Counting plug-in hybrids too, BYD moved over 4.1 million vehicles that year. Both Tesla just won and BYD is crushing Tesla are technically true depending on the window picked. One's counting a quarter, the other a season. What often gets left out of the Tesla win framing is why BYD dipped. A domestic Chinese price war intensified as subsidies were pulled back and a new tax landed, with BYD's own chairman calling it a knockout stage. BYD's home market share fell from roughly 27% to about 17% in months. Tesla won a quarter, while BYD absorbed a price war elsewhere, which isn't quite the same as losing a fair fight. The more interesting comparison is what these companies actually are as manufacturers. BYD started in 1995 making batteries for cell phones long before it built cars, and today makes its own batteries, power chips, and motors, while owning mining operations for raw materials and its own cargo ships for export. That structure mattered during the chip shortage years when Ford and GM were parking unfinished trucks waiting on parts that never arrived, while BYD, making its own chips, barely slowed down. An American engineering firm that tore down BYD's roughly $11,500 Seagull city car, reviewed by an engineer with decades inside major U.S. plants, reported that it didn't come across as cheap, citing small but consistent cost-saving choices like a single front wiper motor instead of two. Their conclusion was that a U.S. plant couldn't build the same car anywhere near that price. Battery chemistry is where the reputations really flip. BYD's Blade battery uses lithium iron phosphate, LFP, rather than the nickel-based chemistry more prone to thermal runaway. In nail penetration testing, driving a steel nail through a charged pack to force a short, older chemistries have been shown to exceed 900 degrees Celsius and ignite, while the Blade pack reportedly stayed only mildly warm. It has also been shown surviving a 40-ton crush test, a furnace bake, and deliberate overcharging without catching fire, and the 2026 Blade 2.0 update reportedly holds that same nail test resilience after hundreds of fast charge cycles. Tesla, by contrast, spent roughly 5 years and billions of dollars developing its in-house 4680 cell, and reporting this spring indicated Tesla's own cell still trails third-party batteries Tesla also uses on range and charging speed, with some European buyers reportedly canceling orders over range falling short of what was advertised. The company known as the Battery King is still sourcing some of its best-performing cells from outside suppliers. Two widely repeated durability fears also don't hold up well under scrutiny. The first is Tesla's Gigacasting, the fear that a single rear-end impact totals the car because a large aluminum casting can't be repaired. A 2-year UK crash repair study using real insurance data found that at low speed the cast rear section typically took minimal damage, and that a partial casting repair often came in cheaper than fixing the multi-piece steel rear end on an earlier Model 3, with Tesla reportedly supplying those cast sections to body shops near cost. The second flip runs the other way. Teardown crews who have opened more than 20 different EV battery packs have called BYD's Blade pack among the hardest ever to disassemble, since the cells are bonded directly into the vehicle structure with industrial adhesive. In one case, requiring the pack to be frozen for nearly 2 days just to separate components. Practically, a single damaged cell after a collision could mean replacing the entire pack rather than a targeted repair, arguably a worse post-crash picture than Tesla's controversial castings. Reliability data on Tesla itself is genuinely split by age. Recent major reliability rankings place Tesla in the top 10 brands overall, with the Model Y named the most reliable new electric car available. But the same rankings place Tesla's own 5 to 10-year-old vehicles dead last among all brands, and the Cybertruck scored below average, consistent with its glued panel recall covering all 46,000 units built at the time. At the top end of BYD's lineup, its Yangwang luxury sub-brand is genuinely unusual. The U8 SUV can rotate in place and float for roughly 30 minutes if driven into water, and the U9 hypercar has posted a top speed north of 300 miles per hour. But ownership reality outside China looks rougher. In Australia, BYD owners have reportedly waited months for basic parts, with one vehicle bought back after sitting unrepaired for close to a year following an electronics failure that knocked out navigation, updates, and app connectivity across many affected vehicles at once. BYD's own local market head has publicly acknowledged parts and service gaps. On software, Tesla still holds real advantages. Its driver assist system is generally regarded as more polished day-to-day, and the Model 3 is reportedly lighter and more efficient than the comparable BYD Seal. BYD's counter is its God's Eye driver assist suite, offered free across nearly its entire lineup rather than as a paid add-on, with BYD reportedly stating it would cover liability if the system is at fault in a crash while active. A notably different stance from Tesla's driver responsibility framing. That rapid rollout has surfaced problems fast, though, including a reported incident of a Yangwang vehicle accelerating unexpectedly on a highway. Charging infrastructure remains a clear Tesla strength. Its network is large and reportedly very reliable in practice, while BYD's megawatt charger, capable in theory of a roughly 5-minute fill, currently exists only in China, often needs 2 cables on the same vehicle to hit its rated speed, and can be constrained by local grid capacity. Pricing tends to favor BYD directly, typically undercutting comparable Teslas alongside longer warranties, while Tesla's cheaper sub-$40,000 Model Y is a stripped-down trim, rather than the fully new affordable model long promised. Though steep new car discounting can also mean weaker resale value later. The bigger structural story, though, is that Tesla's own focus appears to be shifting away from the car business itself. Deliveries have fallen for 2 straight years, European sales are down roughly half, and public emphasis has moved toward robotaxi operations already running in Austin, Dallas, and Houston, humanoid robotics, and its energy business. As a car to own, fix, and keep for a decade, the current hardware comparison tends to favor BYD. As a bet on autonomous mobility over the next 10 years, Tesla is playing a different game. BYD isn't really in yet, which makes who wins less a single answer than a question of which future you're actually buying into. We'll keep tracking both companies here. Subscribe to the Tesla Breakdown if you want the next comparison first.